Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
May you please state your name
My name is Masego Leburu.
and where you're from and the years in which you schooled at the Swaneng Hill Secondary School.
I was bred and brought up in Seruwe, and I attended Swaneng Hill School from 1965 up until 1970 when I completed my Form 5 studies.
So, what was it like for you as a student in the early days?
It was very exciting because when I came to Swaneng Hill School, I had given up furthering my education because I could not be admitted in any secondary school, and I ended up working for Seruwe Council. As a pumper, I was supplying the public with potable water, and I had settled in there hoping that would be the job I'll be doing for the whole of my life, until my grandfather approached my father and asked him to go and meet Patrick van Rensburg to see if I can get a place there because I had a good pass. And then at that time, it was during the course of the end of the first term, and I was admitted into a night school. And I remember one of my classmates was at the night school was Mapilonomi Vincent, who is the current Minister of Education now. And the two of us were promoted into day school by Patrick van Rensburg because we were fast learners. And we were sort of being delayed by other students with whom we were attending.
The night school.
But it was very exciting to be put into the day school.
So, did you feel that you were a part of making history when you were schooling there?
That's how I felt. And in fact, because I was a footballer, my first day at Swaneng School, I had somebody being sent from the school to the village to guard me against any ill treatment by other older students. And on the first day, we had a match against Seruwe Teacher Training College, which we won. And then since then, I became captain of the school for the rest of my life in Swaneng. I felt at home.
So, football was your core curricular activity then?
I'm a sportsman. I was playing football, I was a boxer, I was an athlete, I was a javelin thrower, I was a runner. And I'm happy to say that my grandson has actually taken after me. And he's a gold medal holder in football as a promising young football star. He's a gold medal holder in athlete as a sprinter. He has a gold medal which he won in an international competition in Pretoria in taekwondo competitions. He's only 7 years. He'll be turning 8 next year.
But he's become the ultimate sportsman like you were back in Swaneng.
Yes.
Okay, so how did Patrick van Rensburg influence the atmosphere of the school as a whole?
I personally felt Patrick van Rensburg influence in the education then was to teach us to be self-reliant. You know, we were students, but at the same time, we had to rely on our own selves to build classrooms. If we wanted to be in a classroom, we had to build one instead of relying on anybody else to do it. So you'd go to school, and then in the afternoon, you go for manual work to build your own classrooms. Yeah, and there was nothing like school uniform. You could dress on what you have and still come to school, learn and pass.
So it was an environment that encouraged self-reliance, but it also did not restrict people to learn. Like if you had no uniform, you could still come to school.
Yes, you could still come to school. We would mix with girls. There was no restriction there. And we used to have difficulties when we go to schools like Moedin College, maybe for football competitions, where we would be restricted from dining with our own schoolgirls because they were supposed to go to females dining hall and us to a male's dining hall, and we used to argue that we're not used to that. If that is the case, then maybe we should just go back to Swaneng.
Okay, so Patrick van Rensburg encouraged a unisex school.
Yeah.
He did not separate students.
No.
So do you have any notable memories that you'd like to share with us?
Yes, the notable memories that I would like to share with you is when we started to build the school hall. You know, there were tall steel posts there, and someone had to climb to put their ends together at the top, and nobody was prepared to do that because of the height. But I ultimately braved that, and I did that.
So you're the one who went to the top?
Yes, I had hoped before I left school I would have used the hall to dine in there. And even today I still feel maybe someday I must just buy food, sit in that hall and eat.
Tell us how the education principles that were offered then, how did they influence your life?
Well, I think attending school at Swaneng has taught me to be self-reliant. Even in my life, I don't depend on anybody for anything. I know if I want something, I need to work for it. I need to do it myself. And if I don't get it, I can't blame anybody else. I have to blame myself. So I think that is the basic education principle that I learned from Patrick van Rensburg. Because from the onset, like I said earlier, if we wanted a classroom, we had to build one for us. So ever since then, I learned that, no, if you want something, you have to work for it.
You have to work for it.
Yeah.
So were there any bad incidents at the school in your time?
Well, the bad incident, I remember one day when we came, because I was staying in the village, we came to our classrooms and we saw some funny writings on our boards. And it was like something had happened, that something unusual had happened, and we were called to the Patrick van Rensburg house, and we were addressed. I can't remember exactly what happened in there, but that was funny.
So there were some threatenings on the school boards.
Yes. But that didn't last for long.
Okay.
It was soon over, and we started with our education.
Was the culprit discovered?
No, not as far as I can remember.
Okay, so what is your opinion about Patrick van Rensburg and his ways?
In my opinion, if we had listened to Patrick van Rensburg, if our government then had listened to Patrick van Rensburg and his way of teaching, Botswana would be very far, because his belief in education with production, it's a great idea, because now Botswana are lax. They don't want to work. They are crying for things. They want to be given things on a silver platter, and Patrick van Rensburg's principles was to teach us against that.
Okay, so tell us about your life after Swaneng Hill Secondary School. Where did you go?
Before I wrote my exams, we had a visit from a bank manager from Standard Chartered Bank in Mahala. It was Standard Bank, the Standard Bank of South Africa then. He visited our school. He was very impressed about the ex-Swaneng students who were working in the bank then. So he came and addressed us. I was interested in applying for a job in the bank, so I was asked to come for an interview. I went there, I wrote the interview, I passed, and I was employed before I even sat for my final examination. And the manager then told me, after writing my exams, I could take a break because I'd be tired from studying, and then start the work in January the following year. I went with one of my friends, Isaac Mangole, to Francistown. And while I was there, I got a telephone call saying that the bank manager in Mahalepe wants me to start work immediately, because then staff would be earning their 13th check in December, and he wants me to earn something as a 13th check. So I worked for 2 days, and it was the end of the year, so I still got something. And ever since then, I've been with the bank for 31 years until I retired in 2010.
So working at the bank, you carried the principles that you had learned from Swaneng into your life?
Oh, yes, I did. And because I was taught to work with people, to accept others, to help others, I trained a lot of my subordinates to become responsible managers. And even today, some of them are still coming back to me to say, thank you very much. We are what we are because of you. And that excites me, because it shows I contributed something to help somebody to live a better life or to become a better person.
So do you have anything else that you do in the community apart from your life as a banker?
Not really, unless I'm called here and there to help in community work, but there's nothing at the moment that I'm directly involved in.
Okay. What are your thoughts on the present secondary school of Swaneng?
Well, ever since I left Swaning, I've not been in touch with what is happening here. So really, I cannot say much about on that point.
Okay, so how do you feel about the whole experience now that you have grown up and you have lived? How do you feel about the whole experience of the early secondary school of Swaning?
Well, I can see a lot of difference between how people live today, how students relate to their teachers, how the students relate to the present day government, all the troubles that we see now, which we never heard of during those days. During those days, we knew you go to school to learn, you listen to your teachers, you obey, you follow the school's principles, and pass. We did not expect the school to pay us any allowance or anything. We were the ones to contribute towards the success of the school. Yeah.
So you feel you've made history with the kind of education you received?
Oh, very much so.
So did any of your family members also attend Swaning for their secondary?
No, that was the only one. But yes, my elder brother, he did not attend day school as such, but he was involved as a student at steel fabrication schooling or training. Yeah.
Okay. Is there anything else that you'd like to add in conclusion to your story?
Well, in conclusion, I would very much thank Patrick van Rensburg. I want to believe that anybody who went to Swaning is very happy to have been a student at Swaning Hill School, because it really taught us how to live with others, how to work for the community, and things like that. Those things you never get in today's schools. And I was also very much involved in manual work, especially building. I think it's because my father was a builder and I liked building. I liked bricklaying and all the related stuff. I was always involved in voluntary work, so much that Patrick van Rensburg even named his first son after me. He's called Masego.
Okay, no, we thank you for your time, sir.
Thank you.